Five, four, three, two, one.
Hello,
Hello.
everybody.
Guess what?
What?
YouTube is about 5 seconds behind StreamYard.
Well, there you go. As you can see,
So, officially,
we-
good evening, William and Spring Hill Jim.
yes, and he's here at the moment. He's found a way of putting his headphones on.
Yeah, they're
But
upside down, back to front, left to right.
Yeah, he's back. Pulsar. He's
Yeah. I'm back for a bit. It all depends because the temperature here has dropped. It's 4 degrees and dropping, and it's affecting the wound area. So I may have to disappear and go and put something on.
yes, but he'll be lurking anyway. So,
Yeah,
hope everyone's well.
Hello, Pulsar. Afternoon, Mick.
And Zeb
Afternoon,
and everyone.
Zeb.
Everyone's in. Lovely to see you all. So, what has been happening this week on the channel? Well, there's been some surprises. Put it that way.
To say the least. To say the least.
To say the least. But 6,780 people have watched the channel. Well, that's just pretty cool. And 23 new subscribers. So, thank you very much. We're upwards and onwards.
Yes.
So, what? Yes. Welcome to the Madhouse. So, what you've been watching now? This one shocked me. Before I start, someone's moaning at me.
Oh, you now show the viewers what's he having tonight.
Yeah.
The death claw.
No. We're gonna.
I'll keep him quiet for 5 minutes.
Oh,
yes. So at number 3, the tribute to Linda Nolan. 104 people have watched it. I thought I'd get about 10.
Yeah.
At number 2, look at the stand-in for Manic Street Preachers. That's been a blooming epic. In Quote Country, Bob Young. But at number 1, the most watched one, and that there's been a lot of comments that no one has ever done an album ranking of the Cramps.
Yes. Yes,
But-
you seem to have had a good reception from the comments.
Yes, people have enjoyed watching the Cramps, and I enjoy listening to the Cramps.
Right,
So-
enjoyed listening to you talk about the Cramps, and then hopefully going and listening to the albums on the playlist.
Oh no, I mean I impressed Nick, so that's the most important thing. If you impress Nick
Yes.
with Cramps, he's
You're
the thing. Anyway, in the last 28 days, 24,926 people thought they'd have a look at the channel. And out of that number, 62 actually subscribed. So thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last 28 days, at number 3, In Quo Country. So it's in both the months and the week. So that's pretty good.
The
And
months, the
the
weeks, the
Cramps.
years.
Yeah, the Cramps was number 2 with that 171, but still people watching my very first video from
This is it.
2021, 197 people. We'll just do the shorts. The most watched short in the last 7 days was Difficult to Cure by a Rainbow, 557. And Status Quo yet again, topping the shorts when we did the Needle Drop Saturday with Black Veils and Melancholy, 821. And when we're on that, someone actually put a dislike to one of those. Now,
Probably because you didn't put a star in the right place.
well, The thing is, when you do needle drop, I don't know what I'm going to be putting on. I just put the needle across and then just gently put the dot thing. I don't know what it is. Even when I say, oh, that's that.
Mm. Well,
Oh,
it's like we were talking just before the show. You have a collection of albums.
yes.
For example, Genesis. And we were talking backwards and forwards, and you have picked your favourite track from each Genesis album. So you do a needle drop Saturday, and it drops on a particular song. It might be your favourite, or it might be someone else's favourite, or it might be someone's most hated track.
I know. It's just stupid, isn't it?
I know. But anyway, we digress.
Yeah. Anyway, since we started this charade, we've now had 606,910 views, and we're
through the 600k. Well done.
Yes, and we're now up to 2,518 subscribers, which is completely brilliant. So we always do the top 5 these days because the top 2 don't alter much, but it's the top 3 that sort of gaps widen or close. So 5, Mike Oldfield album ranking on 4385. 4 is Jethro Tull, that could change when the new album comes out. That's at 4422. At 4466 is Derek Riggs.
That's artwork.
That's artwork. And Slade now 5,186. Status Quo is now 10,184.
Oh, well done.
And Paul Diano is now the top short at 4468. So that's what's been going on. What have I been listening to? But I've been listening to lots. I've got lots going on, but the ones that you know about, Chris de Burgh, we've nearly done. And Dave will be confused now because I told him I'd listen to 18, but I've now listened to 19. I listened to an extra one. Man, I've done 14 of the 16, and Isildore's Bane.
Oh, you got it wrong. Isildur.
Yeah, well, I've listened to the 13. I'll be glad when I've finished listening to them because I dread saying that every week. But I have completed a band called the Bookshop Band, which Dave put in the list. They're a duo who write songs based on books.
Yeah,
and but they're multi-instrumentalists, so they're pretty good. So that's what I've been listening to.
Did you say 18 or 19? 19.
19 of Chris de Burgh.
Right. That's been updated.
Right. So that's me done. And now with a proper version of Hatches, Matching, Dispatches. It's Dave.
Right, I've got to bring this up. Okay. So we've got 3 + 1 dispatches. We've got 12 hatches, and we've got 1 match, and we've got something to talk about, something unusual that's happened. Anyway, so dispatches. Oh dear. It was announced now, the last show was on the 6th. This wasn't announced until either the show was already in progress or it was announced after. Bobby Hamilton, an American R&B singer with the Choice 4, passed away. The 8th, Corey Crew. He was a Canadian comedic music singer with a duet, Corey and Trina. He passed, unfortunately. And on the 10th, Jan Martin Jensen. I hope I pronounced that right. Norwegian music executive and co-founder of the Inferno Metal Festival has passed. But for those of us in the UK, you'll remember this name. On the 9th, Asil Nadir passed away. And if you don't remember, he was a Cypriot textiles executive, convicted fraudster, and he was the CEO of a firm called Polly Peck from 1980 to 1990. Got done for fraud. So he has passed. So there's our +1. Birthdays. Well, we're starting today at age 49. Leslie Feist. We know her as just plain Feist. Canadian indie pop singer, songwriter, guitarist. She performs solo and as a member of the indie rock group Broken Social Scene. 51 today, we've got two. Derek Watkins. He's known professionally as Fonzworth Bentley, American rapper, actor, television presenter, and author. And Robert Peter Williams. He's an English singer and songwriter. Do you recognise the name? We know him as Robbie Williams of Take That. 53 today is Sonia Evans, who we know as just plain Sonia, English pop singer. And 56 today is Caroline Kruger, Norwegian singer and composer. She actually represented Norway in the Eurovision Song Contest in 1988. Contest was in Dublin and she finished in 5th place. 59 today are Jeff Waters, Canadian guitarist and the founder, band leader and producer of the metal band Annihilator, along with Frederick Brandon Freedom Williams, American rapper, singer, songwriter, but he's famous for being the lead rapper on I think it's C+C or C&C, Music Factory's biggest hits. 64 today is Henry Lawrence Garfield. He's known professionally as Henry Rollins, American singer, writer, spoken word artist, actor, comedian and presenter. He used to be in a couple of bands, State of Alert and Black Flag. 67 today, and apologies to our Norwegian viewers, listeners. I don't know how to pronounce this name correctly. It's the O with a slash through it, I-V-I-N-D. So I'm hoping that it's Eyvind Elgins, alias EOG, Norwegian vocalist, guitarist and composer. He's known from a series of recordings and he's the front man for the Norwegian band Dance with a Stranger. 69 today is an English musician, bassist, co-founder of the post-punk band Joy Division and its successor New Order. And it's Peter Hook. Happy birthday to him. 75 today. And Ian had to think about this for a minute. An English singer, songwriter, musician. We were actually talking about one of his former incarnations. It's Peter Gabriel. I couldn't believe it. He's 75 today. And 78 today for our friends down under. It's happy birthday to Kevin Bloody Wilson, the Australian comedian, singer, songwriter and guitarist.
Santa Claus, yeah. Where's me side? I found all these presents and there's all here I lay.
That's it.
Yes, he wrote that.
Yeah, notable marriages. There's only one today. Back in 1940, American actress Lana Turner married American band leader Artie Shaw. They eloped to Las Vegas to get married, but they got divorced after 4 months for various reasons. Apparently he wasn't all that great a husband. So, there's your hatches, matches and dispatches. Now, I had a bit of news through the week. I was reading the local news and it has been announced that Van Morrison is the first musician to be named as Artist in Residence at Queen's University in Belfast. And it's a year-long partnership and it will see Van Morrison provide 2 students with a fully funded scholarship. So a fair old amount of money. You're talking sort of £30,000-40,000 each. And you'll also do a series of live performances across Belfast. I thought that's a rather fine thing to do for an artist to go home, back to his hometown and do something for the students. He's made enough money over the years, so I thought that's a really nice thing to do. So anyway, what are we going to talk about tonight?
I don't know. Yes, I do know. That's a surprise.
Well, yeah, I know. Good evening, Richard. And good evening, Mike. Yes, I'm alive. Yes, I'm alive.
Well,
Unfortunately.
we could tell them what we're doing next week.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I suppose we better tell people what we're
Oh,
doing
okay.
next
In
week.
that case, we better add that in there.
Oh,
make
this is more like it.
it-
Right.
Yeah,
So what
I made you work last week.
I know. It's strange. Anyway, this is what's happening next week. So we'll go to Monday, and we're going to continue with some Neil Young, and we're going to look at the albums from part 3. Will be 1970s albums. Well, there's a real doody picture I found of Neil. Look at them sideburns. They're wicked. Yes. Perfect side next week. Oh, I'm setting myself some tough tasks. We're only doing Pet Sounds Beach Boys. Yeah.
I know, and just looking at that, that cover reminds me of some of the old stinkers that we used to do.
Yeah.
Which
Good old
might be
Neil
making
Young.
a comeback.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll move on till Tuesday. Got a great day Tuesday. We've got the Blondie. We're going to be ranking the Blondie albums. I'll beat a bit about them. Then we're top 10 retro ranking. I'm going to do my favourite Uriah Heep song, which was a tough old task, I can tell you.
Good evening, Nick. Dave, thank you. That's the last reference to that person tonight, please.
So we got Uriah Heep, and all the people that are in that picture, actually, everyone that plays on the songs I like. So there we go. Wednesday, we've got a birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Richard McCook's birthday. And I'm going to do his UK top 10 for his 5th birthday, 19th of February, 1971. And then the album rankings, the marathon, is the Enid, which has got a Northampton connection.
Mm-hmm.
A very Northampton connection. Which you'll all find out on Wednesday.
Yes, don't let the cat out of the bag. Don't let Rocky see it.
No. So that takes us to Thursday.
Zeb, you'll enjoy it.
Yes. We've got the first quarter final of Battle Royale. And it's New Order, Blue Monday, against Bachman Turner Overdrive. And if you want to see the rest of the draw, the video is now up.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll only that one. And then we've got a pick and mix, a trip down memory lane, 20th of February, 1981. Oh, I remember exactly where I was on the 20th of February, 1981. We'll find out where.
Were you flat on your back?
I was flat on my back, yes.
Say no more.
Say no more. And that'll take us to nicely till Friday. And yes, we're going to do a bit of glam hair metal, rock metal, whatever you want to call it, a bit of Poison. And finally,
you hope.
well, according to the countdown on Spotify, it's tomorrow. The new album, At Long Last, by the Manic Street Preachers.
You're struggling to come up with a new video topic. Well, we can have a chat about that.
Yes. So that is what's happening next week.
Nothing on the...
No, because we're doing it on nothing.
Ah, yes. No, it's all right.
Because this Saturday, we got that.
Yes.
Yeah. Richard and I are doing Two's the Limit.
Yes. That's why there's no Saturday next week.
Yes. All got, of course it is.
Confusing.
It's high quality entertainment, as quoting from a friend in Canada, Larry Graves. The high quality entertainment. That's what we're here to do. Give you high quality entertainment.
Right. Should we
Let's
take
get rid of
off?
that. Oh,
Okay. Bonk. Where have you gone?
oh.
You took
There
yourself
we are.
off. There we go. So
That's it.
there we go.
What happened there? Anyway,
I think we both clicked the right hand space, and I got to it before you did.
It all went red. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If
Dave.
you think, yes.
Why is that not
So,
coming up?
so as you know, this week.
There we go.
There it is. Yes. Yeah, I love that one.
That is a good.
Yeah, as you know, this week I did a Mick. We did Partridge Family. Now, there's not much on the internet about it, but I had a little book that my friend Lee lent me. It's all about the Partridge Family, and I found out some really interesting stuff. So this was a good book to have, and it's actually signed by the author.
Oh.
But this was got at a book signing in Las Vegas. Now, Lee contacted him because he wanted this book, and he said, well, it'll cost a lot more to get it to the UK. But one of his friends was actually in Las Vegas at the book, had bought a ticket for the book signing. So,
Excellent.
So that was how we got it. So yeah, it's not a bad book. I mean, considering who played on the albums, I mean, Hal Baines drummed on every Partridge Family album.
And there you go.
And Larry Ketchnell from Bread played keyboards.
Yeah, having just had a reference.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyone know of any good tattoo removal services in Ireland? Asking for some. Bloody expensive. I can have a look.
There you go, William. Dave will do an investigation. Yeah, so that was a really interesting one to do. I did see on the list there is Brady Bunch to be done as well, so that'll be interesting. Let's remove that now. We don't need that in the studio. Right. Yeah, so if you want to know how the quarterfinal draw went, the video is up. Go and check out, especially if you're still in the competition, who you're up against. And this time we'll be looking at the ties. We'll be looking at the legacy of the song. How long does it last?
Right.
Yeah, we'll probably do that in a couple of months' time.
Please share screen. I want to show this one.
Mm.
There you go, William. It's called the Dundrum Cosmetic Clinic. And a two, the size of a €2 coin, it's about 67 euros per session as part of a package. Each session will take 15 to 20 minutes, although it depends on the size and colour. The Q switch allows you to require 8 to 14 sessions, so it's not cheap. 7 for 28, 70.
I'm going with
about £1,000.
Yeah, talk about the Partridge Family. Yeah. My first sort of crush was Susan Day. But from the Brady Bunch was nice as well.
Yeah, but then let's see. I'm just trying to think who back then.
But I liked her out of the double deckers as well. But
well, this is it. You see, I missed the double deckers because we were overseas.
Yeah, Peter Perth went on to play Harry in Spooks.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten about yes.
Yeah, he played Spooner in double deckers and Harry in Spooks.
Oh, right, I got it.
Oh, controversial.
There you go, Richard. The Beatles, are they really all that? Which, in a way, yeah, it's a fair question to ask.
Yeah.
Because for those who didn't grow up with the Beatles, Are they really all that?
Now, I'm going to tell you one of the Facebook pages I invite is off amateur cooks. And there's a certain dish in England that the Americans can't cope with. Bless them. And that's a little West Country delicacy done in a Somerset gravy. Someone made some and put them upon the page, and it's been causing a calamity.
Right.
And we had to, and we've had to remind people that this certain thing has been
Are we talking about ye
brains.
olde tradition? Brains, yes.
Brains in West Country. I'm not going to say the word because I might upset it.
Well, hang on. It's got multiple meanings.
Yes, well,
It used to refer to kindling, pieces of wood. And it's also basically meatballs.
Yes, a meatball made from offal, and they actually came. I did do a little bit of research in this, and
I tell you what,
it goes back to the 17th century.
Yeah, you don't have to say it. I will. They're called faggots, and it's spelled the same way, but it's a totally different meaning, and it's one of the original meanings.
Yes, and it comes from as well. I think it comes. Does it come from a Latin word or a Hebrew word as well?
Let's have a look.
But there's been people having some meltdowns because someone put. But on Facebook, you're not allowed to actually put the word because it gets declined. Apparently,
there we go. They're meatballs made from minced offcuts and offal, especially pork and traditionally pig's heart, liver, and fat belly meat or bacon mixed with herbs and sometimes breadcrumbs.
Yes. So there we go. That's been causing a thing on Rate My Plate this week. But unfortunately, there's some people that just really don't get the. I think one of the best comments was, "Well, you as the ones that decided to use a word like that and make it what it meaning a gay man, not us."
Here we go. A faggot. In fact, I can actually show you so that people don't get wrong.
Yeah, see, yeah.
Yes, exactly, brains. Faggots.
Exactly, Nick.
There you go. The faggot is a unit. Faggot in the meaning of a bundle. It's the archaic English unit applied to bundles of certain items. It could be spelt fagata, faggot with double T, fagot, single T, fagot. Lots of faggots. But it comes from Latin, fascis.
I thought it was Latin.
Yeah, and if you see the picture, it's this bit here. That was the symbol of, no, it wasn't the Praetorians. It was one of the rulers of Rome. That was their symbol, was the fascis. And it was a bundle of sticks.
Yeah, you learn something every day.
Yeah, there you go. It's also a unit of weights used to measure iron or steel rods or bars totaling 120 pounds weight, 54 kilos.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I suppose the word what we eat, it's like bundle, it's like a bundle of offal, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. It was the fasces. It was a bundle of wooden rods, including an axe. And it symbolised the Roman king's power, the Etruscans. And
yeah, Michael's absolutely right. Language gets us every time.
It does. It does. Everywhere has, I mean, the problem with English is it never stays still. It's always evolving. It continually gets new meanings, and slight misspelling of something changes the meaning of the word. I mean, the word colour. We spell it with a U. The Americans spell it without a U. There's loads of.
Yeah, I mean, and Richard's right. How to take a perfectly good word and turn it into something hateful.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only. I don't know. I mean, we can say that. I think I put a comment. One girl, she was having a absolutely thing. I says, yeah, I said, if you come into a supermarket and go to the frozen section, you'll see boxes of them. And it just didn't go down very well. A lot of people were putting the laughy emoji, but she was having a panic attack. She couldn't believe that there'd be boxes in the UK. I said, we say it, we don't get it. No one gets the fact. And I thought it was the slang for a cigarette. I said, no, that's
a fag.
That's a fag. Have you got a fag? Have you got a packet of fags?
Exactly.
Yeah, it all means different.
As I used to say to you, hang on, I'm just nipping in for a packet of fags.
Yeah. So there we go.
There we go. You see, and we've set Nick up for his tea tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely brilliant. I mean, the thing is, 6 for me on my own, it really too much. So what I do, you're going to laugh at this.
Mm-hmm.
I split it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's frozen, so I can freeze it.
No, I cheat. I like my sausages, Hafners.
Yeah.
Because they've got a peppery taste to them. There's a guy over from Belfast. He appears on This Morning occasionally. He goes under I think it's the TikTok and Facebook board of lunch, and he's got some brilliant air fryer recipes, and he's got some brilliant slow cooker recipes. And one of the ones that he came up with, a honey and mustard sausage tray bake. Basically, it's potatoes, onions. I've added in diced pepper. Make your honey and mustard sauce. Put your potato mix in. Put your sausages on top. Drizzle it over, and then air fry it for about 15 to 20 minutes. Absolutely bloody lovely. But 8 sausages. That's 4 meals. So I do it as a batch cook. Cooked a lot, and then put it into 2 containers. One for today and tomorrow, and the other one will go in the freezer, and it'll be the start of next week.
You see?
So, you know what? I've got to go and do a shop at the weekend. I might actually go and look and see if they've got any brains faggots in.
Yeah.
That's actually set me off. Yes, I'm going to be like Nick. Best beetle with Chaz.
Excellent. Yes, that's an interesting comment, Jim. I like that.
Yes. Need to make a coffee. Yeah, not a problem, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, talking about food, I'll tell you what I made this week. I mean, I got my loaf of bread. I didn't have so many sandwiches. I got all this bread, and it was going stale.
Bread and butter pudding.
Oh yeah, I hadn't made one for years, and then when I was making it, I thought, you know what? I even haven't got no custard. So I went in the cupboard. I've got some corn flour. I've got some vanilla essence, plenty of eggs, and I've got plenty of milk. So I made my own custard from scratch.
Good. That's the way it should be done.
What? Bloody hell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so,
and I trust you had plenty of raisins.
Oh, good, yeah. I always have raisins. I like eating raisins anyway. Bit of a thing.
My sister doesn't like, but whenever I make a rice pudding, I put raisins in the rice pudding.
Oh, isn't it the story from you?
Have you heard the story of Neil Ashman, the Beetle Road? He drove the van. He got yes. Neil was famous for that. French toast and with sugar and cinnamon. Oh yes,
Yeah,
Christopher. Yes,
that
French
is
toast with
nice.
cinnamon.
Yes.
Yes.
So we don't just want your favourite music tonight. Looks like
Yeah, we also want food.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Nick. When I make up a next batch, I'll let you know, and I'll put a portion aside for you if you like bread and butter pudding.
Get some of those takeaway foil containers that you can buy packets of in the supermarket.
Yeah.
And stick one. Put it into one of those.
Yes. Yes. Bit of bread and butter pudding.
French
Absolutely.
toast with sugar and cinnamon. We call them poor nights. Yeah.
That's interesting.
It is.
Good evening, Andy.
Evening.
Yes, yeah, that is. That sounds right. No, I mean, I love French toast.
Yeah. Well, you know where I like to get my coffee from.
Yes.
They're now doing cinnamon buns. And they're not small. They are definitely not small.
Yeah, Jim, is there any news on his new album then? The album that's been in the pipeline for about 3 or 4 years. What's a bit of Jiffy? You might get it next month.
Let's see.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I make some, I'll make it the week before we go up to Leeds, and I'll give it to you on the Saturday. There you go.
Let's see if
Yeah,
this
Biters VCLT.
Right, he's not slated for coming out this year at the moment. He's not been listed. Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho. Let's see.
Yeah. But I mean, it's about time he had something out, but who knows? But the Richard's right. How many shows will be cancelled?
Yeah.
I mean, the last I heard that he couldn't get anyone to publish the album.
Yes, that was the last I'd heard.
Yeah, because of his views, which is ridiculous, really. He's allowed his views.
Yeah, everybody's allowed their views until they start espousing them, to all and sundry. If you're putting it across that this is the gospel according to me, it's like, what's his name? Kanye West. Ye, as he's now called. I didn't pay any attention to the Grammy Awards, but apparently he and his wife turned up. And on the red carpet, she took off her coat. She was starkers underneath.
Yeah, I did see that.
Oh, you saw that? I did.
Yeah, but everything was the modesty people had been out and covered everything up.
Well, apparently they were asked to leave, or they were told.
Oh, rightly so, really.
Yeah. But apparently he's been selling T-shirts with swastikas.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh dear, what is the world coming to? Yeah, that is.
Oh, hang on. We saw Ronald McDonald at a nude beach. He had some sesame.
That's a brilliant one, Dave. I like that one.
Oh, come on. Click. Right. He cancelled, rescheduled.
God.
Bonfire of Teenagers cover record, bought it, shelved it, sold it back to it. I don't know.
Go for it, Jim.
Nick, no, it wasn't. He wasn't Starkers. It was his wife that was Starkers.
She was in the all together, but all together.
Yeah, I mean, the headline that I saw was she was wearing a see-through dress. I thought, all right, fair enough. And then the next minute up comes a picture. I'm thinking, that's not a see-through dress. There's no fabric there at all. She was starters. I mean, oh, I know, yes.
Good
There he
evening,
is. He's
Michael.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Gozaimasu.
How are you guys?
All
Alive.
good.
Well,
We lost Iain.
he's there.
We lost it.
Oh,
It's that damn Wi-Fi.
yeah. Well, my
Cuts out every
Wi-Fi.
time.
We had our Wi-Fi was round here and gone.
What do you mean? So it's public Wi-Fi, or you have a router in your building? How's this work?
Well, for some reason, no one around here. The people that supply the wires,
Yes.
it all went kaputti.
So the wires have become degraded.
Yeah,
Well, so
and
somebody probably dug them up.
yeah, and we was out without internet or Wi-Fi or anything for 2 3/4 hours.
Well, that's the funny thing about wireless. It requires so many wires to do wireless. That's the old joke in networking.
Yeah,
Sorry, Dave just joined in on the Kanye West and his naked wife. They were there to see the band Bush.
Yeah, he's been making quite a stir in Japan. But he screwed up. He screwed up at some of his promotional opportunities by the stunt that they pulled at the Grammys.
Well,
See, he's been yeah.
That plus during the Super Bowl, apparently there were ads for his store, his online store, and whenever people followed it, he was selling T-shirts with swastikas.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, he's got some issues.
He does. He does.
yeah. But the poor Japanese have really lost the plot, hasn't he? Bless him.
Yeah. He was really living high on the hog in Japan for some months there. You know, he was able to walk down the street; nobody bothered him. He was really loving life, and but the stunt that he pulled at the Grammys got the Japanese to pull his big concert shows in Tokyo. So I think he lost $20 million from that deal.
Wow. So what was he doing? Was he doing a residency or something?
He was doing recording, and I think that probably had some sponsorship going on here. You know, he just,
all right.
You know, he was, you know, they gave him the benefit of the doubt. And but he went back to the States, and they pulled that stunt to the Grammys, and it was embarrassing for the Japanese. And so he had a big show scheduled, I think, at Tokyo Dome, and they canceled the show on him. It was going to be like a long-term show. So you know, you got to know your audience.
You do not embarrass the Japanese,
right?
I mean, they take that.
You do not do that very seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even I know that, and I'm a thickie.
When I was doing my research for Nolan's last week, Michael, apparently they're one of the biggest selling artists in Japan. The Nolan sisters.
Really? Yeah. There's another band called the Spotniks, who were really big in Japan.
Oh yeah, I like the Spotniks.
Really? I see their records everywhere in the bins. And the Ventures are really big in Japan, and the Carpenters, you know, all that stuff. You know, when you're at the bins, you got to, you know, the first 30% of it is all that kind of stuff. Nostalgia. I've got
the Mike knows because he was there when I got it. Spotniks in London. They're all
That's right. Yeah.
My dad had that
as well, didn't you? It was a bargain. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad had
wanted it. Nobody fought you for that Spotniks record.
No one did. I got money off it because someone had scribbled on the back.
Yeah. But yeah, you might see the Sputniks everywhere in Tokyo, but you certainly don't in Leeds.
I bet.
So, Romuald has joined us. Bonjour.
Bonsoir, bonjour, whatever it is, wherever. Anyway, Mike, it's soon the start of the season, won't it? Do you think Leeds will have a better year?
I don't know. They've not really, they've not really sort of done much with the team, but hopefully, the new coach who came in towards the end of last season, he's had the off season to work with them, and they might do something. But they're not going to win it anyway. They're not going to win it. But I'll be there Saturday afternoon, and come what may, I'll be there. So there you go.
Well, at least I mean, the big controversy this week was Wales sacking Warren Gatland in the middle of the Six Nations.
Well, and he turned down the compensation. He was entitled to an exit fee, and he turned it down.
Oh.
Ooh.
Let's see. Where's it gone? There.
Oh.
Romwell, we've stepped away from doing a sort of a topic of showing stuff. We're trying to tend towards a conversation piece, which might involve showing records, but we're sort of stepped away from the fixed thing.
Yeah. Question for Michael from Richard. Does Japan do their own record store day?
They do have Record Store Day here, but they do their own spin on it.
Right.
Is it the same day or is it different?
Different
it's not
day.
The same day, a different day. So I assume it's a different day for each country. Like America has it on one day, UK has it another day.
No.
It's the same for the UK and the
US. And Europe as well. It's all the same day.
Oh, right. So it's more the Far East, probably because of time zone, I would imagine.
Well, they serve it with a portion of sushi.
No, the Japanese just don't. They cherry pick. They do import what the West has in terms of those releases. So you do see them on the shelves, right? But they don't have. There's no waiting online and group. It's not a social thing.
All right.
And then they have their own releases. So
it's kind of like
go on.
Yeah, not like in Northampton where they queue outside the shop. It's like it resembles Christmas sales in Boxing Day when they used to go and stand outside the department stores.
Yeah. I've had some good conversations in Record Store Day queues.
I bet.
Yeah.
What are you here to buy? I'm here for that. So am I.
Well, that's it. I mean, people are a bit reticent to say what they want, especially to the people who are in front of them in the queue.
Yeah.
Just in case. But
especially if it's a limited edition. There's only sort of 5, and there's 6 people in front of you. Right.
Yeah.
But I was after the same.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple of years ago, I was told by Nick, who's the owner of Jumbo Records, that I needn't sort of get there so early because nobody wants the stuff that you like, Mike.
That's a good thing.
That's.
I mean, there's one I've got my eyes on. It's a status quo release in one on the Record Day, and it's their live album from '77. Now, the original was taken over 3 nights. This one is actually from one night. It's the whole concert from one night, ports and all. Right. I mean, I'll get it, but I'm not gonna go and camp out for it on Record Day. I will eventually get it.
Let me ask you a question.
I mean, is it an exclusive or is it,
No, No, it's
Can't-
not an
first
exclusive.
release.
Yeah, I think I've seen it advertised on the Quo
Yeah.
site. So if I get it, I'll get it from there because they'll have copies of it. I mean, I'm not going to go and stand in the cold just to pick up.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Crash and Wall of Sound. Jim, we've talked about Wall of Sound on this stream a few.
Oh, that's the one with the really dense
few
basement,
weeks,
right?
like it's tiny. It's in the basement of Crash Records, and it's the upstairs at Crash. It's sort of new stuff, and downstairs it's all the second hand, and it's a place that's absolutely crowded out with vinyl. You've got boxes on top of boxes, and you can't swing a cat in there. But
Nick and myself.
It's quite a nice place to go to, because you never know what you might find. But sometimes it can be a bit frustrating because you can't really get to everything. And if you've got more than two people in there, it's crowded.
Yeah, there were four of us in there last time. And Nick and myself
that's right.
walks over and CDs over.
Yeah. You have to. If someone wants to get past you have to sort of reverse back up the stairs a bit and let them through. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I brought my Wing Straight 6 from Crash Records.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, you bought that from Relics.
Relics, was it? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Relics. You bought the wings from. Yeah.
But
Jim got some Billy Fury LPs from Wall of Sound.
Yeah, but Wall of Sound is great to have a dig around if you got a spare sort of 2 or 3 hours. It's a good place. I just want to show you something that I picked up at Leeds Record Fair last Saturday, and I bought it because of the record label. And it's this.
Oh,
so that's the Jumbo Records.
Oh,
no, the record store in Leeds. It's their logo. You see the title of a song, Randy Mandy, by Pete Campbell, and there's Randy Dobb on the B side. So it's pretty sort of pretty not very good reggae, basically. But anyway, I got in touch. With Jumbo and said, "What do you know about this? Because it's 1976." And Jumbo Records has only been owned by 2 people. So there's Nick, the current owner, who's been there for 7 or 8 years, and a guy called Hunter, who was the original owner. And he started off having a mobile disco and then decided to have a record shop. So Hunter's got back to us over this, and he said what it was is that. So this is by Pete Campbell, and he's got a brother called Bill, and Bill was worked for record distributors, and so he used to come into sort of Jumbo shop quite often, and he asked Hunter whether he could use the logo for some record releases. And Hunter said yes. And there's there's stuff on Discogs. There's about 8 or 9 of them altogether. But I was absolutely intrigued. I saw it there, and I thought, I've got to get that. And it was in the 3 for a £5 bin. So that was all right.
Hello, Governor.
Yeah, hi Nick.
And then there we go.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, do you now?
Going back, Jim's asking, has anyone ever seen a copy of Entertaining Mr. Sloan by Georgie Fame? It's a 45 on the CBS label.
No, I don't.
No, well, we can have a look out for it.
Yeah.
So
look out for you.
There's one to put in the notebook and have a check and see next time you're up there.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's Romwell been up to? He's 20 inches of snow. So he could work from home. He spent 2 hours cleaning the balcony and cleared the snow off the car.
Wow.
We haven't had nothing like that here. Yeah.
No.
No,
If we
we
get-
struggle with 2 centimetres.
Yeah, that's right. And everything grinds to a halt then, doesn't it?
They
Yeah.
shut the schools.
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
Absolutely
we
pathetic.
struggled to get 5 flakes lying. It's been that warm. What little snow we've had, it's gone almost immediately.
Anyway, then, Mike,
Anyway.
what's
Blimey.
been happening up in Leeds then? Anything you'd like to enlighten us on?
Apparently, that entertaining Mr. Sloan is 600 quid on Discogs.
Ooh. Wow.
That's a little bit. That's a
Yeah.
little bit OTT.
No
Yeah,
wonder.
I'll pass on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to ask you, Mike and
Yeah.
Michael, whenever
Yes.
you go to record fairs and record shops,
Yes.
you're going with the idea of, I want to buy something. Do you look, as you have done for the label, or do you look at the artwork on the outside and say, oh, I'll have a listen to that?
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, Michael, but I mean, it's a bit of both. I mean, the stuff. I'm very bad at sort of deciding that I want to buy something, going out and buying it. I have these things in my mind, and then always come back with something completely different. But sometimes the artwork sort of attracts you, doesn't it?
Yep.
So it can. I think that's a thing where vinyl wins over CDs every time.
Sure.
And that's the artwork, especially if you've got a nice gatefold, and you can get really, sort of like, it can be worth having, even if the music isn't that great.
I was thinking that 78s always had the same artwork on them for years, and there was a certain time in history when somebody got the idea that if we put some brilliant artwork on a record jacket, it might sell more. It might sell more units, right? And I don't know when that crossover happened, but now it's so acceptable, right? And
yeah,
a lot of times we buy. A lot of times a record jacket can have the shittiest piece of artwork and be the greatest sounding record in the world, and vice versa. But we're often seduced because we're like swimming in choices, right? And you pull something, you start to get exhausted, like your wife's waiting for you, it's time to go, and you pull something out of the bin, and it's like, wow, I don't know what this is, but the artwork's just incredible. I'll take a flyer on it and I'll buy it. And oftentimes that's how blind buys happen, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's it. You see something at a record fair, and that if you walk away, you're never going to come back. You're never going to come back and get that record.
Yeah.
So you buy. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it isn't so great.
Is it the cover of Sparks, Angst in My Pants, where Ron and Russell are dressed as bride and groom?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, God, what is that one? I mean, their album covers are great, aren't they?
Right.
I
think one of them was a visual artist, right? Well, the one with the mustache was a visual artist. One of them was.
Ron, yeah. I think he's quite arty. I think he did a lot of the design. I mean, but that one is brilliant. And then there's the one with the plane wreck on it.
Yeah, I've got that somewhere.
The plane wreck is indiscreet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you with Sparks what you're going to get generally, don't you?
Yeah.
They're different, bit weird, perhaps a bit wacky. They think from outside the box.
Kind of like Devo.
Oh.
Yeah. I just see if I can find the Sparks.
Yeah, it is Angst in My Pants.
Yeah, that is.
and the other one was Kimono My House.
Oh, I love that one.
But I like to have a little bit of a clue on a record sleeve as to what it's all about.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a clue.
And then
The-
you'd be Clash.
And so, what do you do when you're in the? You ask the owner about it, or you don't buy it. You don't buy it.
I've took chances on many sort of reggae type compilations. More often than not, the odd sleeve or two just catch me eye, and But if I've heard of some of the songs that are listed on the back, and I know roughly what the content is going to be about, I do tend to try, take a chance on it.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the last time I brought something sort of totally blind and disliked it.
Yeah.
It's, I like to think that I've got a good eye for things. And a good ear.
Point. Could you show William's point again? Because that's really here's your factoid, right? By the 70s, your album cover was an important piece of the record. Sparks pushed the limits with both music and album art. But I think it is true. I mean, the 60s really had a lot of formula for record album jackets, and they didn't break out of that formula. I guess the Beatles did. So the Beatles was probably one of the most radical jacket covers for the White Album I can think of.
Yeah, and then you go down the route of stuff like Roger Dean's artwork for Asia.
Right. The art directors just take over.
Yeah. I mean, Roger Dean became a sort of stable for, just about all sort of prog albums. But, going back to Sparks, these are great album covers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Here, Kimono My House.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah. I like the one in the back,
I love that one.
The kind of story that you really want to know what's going on, Who's kidnapped these guys? What's going on? And then, as you say, the plane wreck was indiscreet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they lived out their roles, because one was the handsome, eye candy, and the other one was the weird, manic guy at the keyboard. So they lived their roles. It was, the album art and the act were intrinsically tied together.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned sort of the Beatles, and you mentioned the White Album, and it was quite, I suppose, quite brave to sort of do that. Although, it was 1968 and it was the Beatles, so people are going to buy the album.
Anything. That's right. They could do anything.
I mean, the early Beatles albums, it seems to me that the UK record covers for the Beatles are pretty good, and some of the American ones are absolutely atrocious. They're just not good at all. And other people.
I think the American ones were typical of their time, especially with a lot of 60s acts. There was a more sort of serious. I don't know if that's the right word, but this is the Beatles. This is what they look like. This is the name of the album, and that was it.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think
the Butcher album sort of broke the mold a bit.
Yeah. I mean, Revolver is a fantastic album cover, isn't it?
Yeah, it's designed by Klaus Ruhlmann. Yeah, wonderful artwork. I mean, I love the debut album. Please, Please Me. The photo of them over that balcony of flats. Very good.
Yeah. because they sort of recreated that, didn't they, for the Red and the Blue albums?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, another fine example is of course Sergeant Pepper's.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, but again, I mean, this is sort of bringing artists in, isn't it?
Right, Peter Blake.
To do something, so rather than being a sort of a piece of cardboard to put the record in, it becomes something that's sort of thought about, and and hopefully something that people are going to want to have.
Yeah, and as we've said previously, it's something that it was a topic of conversation, something you could almost hang on your wall.
Yeah,
as a work of art.
Exactly. I mean, I've just brought this one out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an exception, I think, for the time.
Who did the cover of that? Was that Aubrey
I don't know.
Beardsley? I think it was Aubrey Beardsley. Who'd they use?
I don't know. It doesn't say on the cover, so maybe Dave will know.
Just having a look to see if I can find.
You mentioned Sergeant Pepper's. My actual all-time favourite sleeve design artwork, if you want to call it that, is the inside of the Frank Zappa Mothers of Invention. We're only in it for the money.
Yeah.
And there they all are on the inside, dressed up in ladies' clothing.
I love it.
Yeah,
it's brilliant, isn't it?
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It puts a smile on my face, and
it does. It does.
Yeah.
You look at a lot of Frank Zappa covers; they were all brilliant pieces of artwork. But that was Frank, wasn't it? Frank liked strong covers. I mean,
that one was so ballsy. That was so ballsy, especially with the title. We're only in it for the money.
Yeah.
I don't know the names of I know who Frank Zappa is. I know which one's him. But there's a chap with like a greyish coloured hair and a greyish coloured beard.
Yeah.
He's sat there almost looking as if, he's thinking, I don't really know what I'm doing here.
Hey, hiya.
And when you got some of the others who look like sort of hard cases, there's one next to Zappa. I call him Magilla Gorilla. But he looks a hard nut. But there he is, stood there in a woman's dress and his hair up.
Yeah.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's
for you, Mike.
So it's bloody nippy, is it, in Canada at the moment?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah, brass monkeys.
Yeah. I've got an answer for you, Mike. The artwork was by Dickinson, the then girlfriend and subsequent wife of Keith Reid, and was heavily influenced by the style of Aubrey Beardsley.
Yeah, Michael was on the ball there.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
See, I've got this. I mean, Dave's already mentioned it. This album.
That's Roger Dean.
Yes. When I walked into John Lever in Northampton, that was on show. And as I walked in the shop, I looked at it, and the first thing I thought, that's got to be a Roger Dean picture.
Sure.
I just walked up, picked it up, took it to the thing without even looking. And when I was standing in the queue, you look who's on it, and you go, oh, Steve Hell's on it. Oh, Carl Barnes on it. Oh, John Wenn's on it. Jeffrey Downs. Oh, that's going to be good. And that's how I brought that.
Sure.
Just purely that being on display. And that's why I think it shifted a lot of record shops put this on. People that were fans of Yes knew Roger Dean's way, and there was just so much about that was Roger Dean.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. Oh my god!
Yeah.
But then conversely, how many times have you gone in, bought an album because of the cover, and disliked the music, or have not bought an album because of the cover? Later, you've heard the music and you go, I want to go and get that.
Yeah, and the thing is with Roger Dean, as a guy who was born in '86, I now have a hard time thinking that in 2025, a marketing director would accept that Roger Dean does cover for Budgie, Alcibisa, Yes, 3 different bands, 3 different genres, on different labels. There's
Yeah.
a consistency.
If
Hi,
the
Jason.
Jason if the Jason Rojas avatar doesn't speak, then it is not Jason Rojas.
Yeah.
He's on mute at the moment. He's muted himself.
Right.
Well, he's upset me already.
Because he's got his Devo hat on.
Oh, come on.
I'm
They're
the
not
I'm the,
that
ge-
bad. They're not
I'm
that
the-
bad. Yeah.
I'm the genuine French. I have a genuine accent, no avatar, nothing.
Yeah, the real McCoy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there you go, Boston's debut. Do you remember, Ian? We were talking about this.
Yep.
Yes.
The guitars. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that cover is brilliant because in that guitar, like the spaceship, it's got the skyline of Boston. Very clever, and that appeared on every Boston album.
Yeah.
A classic person that made a statement of record covers is the Sex Pistols, Malcolm McLaren. Never mind the bollocks.
Yeah.
He presented it
Yeah.
as a plain one, and he went, "No, I want these colours. I want them to stick out like a sore thumb."
It's brash, isn't it? It's brash and in your face, which is what punk
There were
is.
colours that you wouldn't normally associate with the style of music. It came out and it was bang in your face.
Yeah. I mean, look at these 2 albums. I think there's one album tells you exactly what's going on the record, and I think the other album by the same band doesn't tell you at all, and you might think it's something completely different. So
Okay,
this is the one. You know exactly what you're getting, don't you?
Yeah, I know where you're going with that.
Yeah, I know. So you know exactly what you're getting, but then
true.
use it for pleasure.
I just don't get it.
Now, that does not look like a punk album, does it?
No.
I mean, the back looks a bit, doesn't it?
Decisions were made that the band may not have been a party to.
Yeah, and then at the same
Well,
time,
I mean, these are,
disgraceful.
I mean, these ones stiff. This cover was designed by Barney Bubbles, who did loads of, loads of covers for Stiff. Particularly did the wallpaper one for Jury. He didn't take the photograph, but he did the design of New Boots and Panties.
Yeah.
Get Happy. Elvis Costello's Get Happy is one of his. But and he did this, and and I mean the album didn't do very well anyway. So I don't know, but I mean,
I don't think it's a bad album.
No, it's not. It's not a bad album.
But the cover doesn't help its cause, does it? Really?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't really tell you what it's all about.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
And then you get sort of compilation albums. And I think for me, the best compilation album cover that I've seen is Led Zeppelin, Mothership.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
know
what you mean.
It's absolutely brilliant. You know exactly what you're getting.
You see, another artist that did well for album covers, and it made me buy this one. It's we'll have to make it because this is a CD.
Oh, yeah. Boom. There you go.
Chase the Dragon that's done by Rodney Matthews, and I had never heard of Magnum when I brought this.
It's that sort of sci-fi fantasy thing that draws you in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like the album. I'd never heard of Magnum at this stage, by the way. So, I mean, this came out in 1980, but the picture Rodney Matthews painted in 1980. So, yeah, that is a brilliant one. And I found another one. Is that and I've mentioned this before, the phenomena. I brought that knowing nothing about it. I just love the cover because that little thing glows in the dark.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And on people on here, you've got Mel Galley, ex-Montrose Whitesnake. You've got Glenn Hughes plays on this. Got people from all sorts of bands, and I just brought that because of the cover. I thought that was a stunning cover. Yeah. Because they said, I went up to it and they showed me turn the light on, you could see that glowing.
I think that was lifted from The Exorcist. That sure looks like a young Linda Blair. Don't you remember that being a promotional photo for one of the early Exorcist movies?
Yeah, I think it's a stunning piece of artwork. There isn't anything. Let's have a look. No, because all you get is this plain light wrapper.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go.
I'm going to take you off that.
But, I mean, that is genuine. That was brought when it came out, which was 1985.
Right.
I'll be with you in just a sec, William. There's this. The Simon's put up. They were late to the party in regards to the Beatles, but also knew there was money to be made. So they did their own cuts for unaware American audiences.
I'd buy that.
Andy said.
Well, there you go. There you go.
What do you reckon to the sleeve with the Phantasmagoria album then, Mike?
I quite like it, but she's a very, very nice looking young lady, isn't she?
It's very sort of
it's goth,
artistic, and I suppose it is gothic, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, which sort of goes hand in hand with the music.
Yeah.
There you go, Mike. Yeah. Similar to Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
Right. That's what I thought.
There you go.
There you go. Kiss album covers were definitely designed to sell. Well, maybe not the
maybe not to me.
Not in the UK, they weren't, Richard.
They were not big. They were not accepted in the UK, were they? Kiss?
No. They were seen as a bunch of idiots, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we'll add. Hello, William. You're on mute. So I'll leave you to unmute yourself.
They are a big show band, though, aren't they, Kiss?
Yeah, they weren't just they had dolls, they had mugs, they had everything, didn't they?
Oh, Christ, yeah. Yeah, they certainly made their money out of merchandise, didn't they?
Yeah, and they had they made a terrible movie, didn't they?
I don't know.
Yeah, they made a real awful movie. There's clips of it on YouTube, but there's no one's actually got a proper copy of it. There's a damn good reason, because it was.
Oh.
They were very plastic acting.
Not like Alvin Stardust doing the Green Cross Code, then.
No, that was terrible acting. It's a bit like any band that makes movies, isn't it? Really, I mean, even Status Quo, when they made this Bulla Bulla Quo, they couldn't act for toffee.
Well, not everybody. Not everybody. I think. Slade made a good movie, didn't they?
That's an exception.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Performance and Man Who Fell to Earth were the first two breakthrough movies where a performing artist could actually perform well before a camera.
Yes.
Oh, and the Beatles.
Yeah. I could, I'm old enough to remember going to the cinema to see Hard Day's Night and Help.
Really? Wow.
And I thought Help was absolutely brilliant,
It was.
And I was 7 years old, and it was really good. And, and for me, Ringo was the star. Literally,
Yep.
He was the one. He was a funny guy, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and of course the plot is built around him, isn't it?
Yeah, the others are too serious.
Yeah.
He was the happy-go-lucky. He was sort of the Artful Dodger.
He was
Yeah.
able to act naturally.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's not great, is it?
But the
Yeah.
uncle was brilliant.
There you
Listen,
go.
Mick Jagger's
Jagger
performance is good in.
in Free Jack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
Bowie in The Man Who Fell to Earth. I
yeah.
can actually, in that performance, I could actually see the Thin White Duke. The way he walked, talked, was sort of deadpan faced and everything.
Yeah.
I could see the beginning of the Thin White Duke coming out of that.
Yeah.
You see another one, another before. I mean, some of the Elvis films. I mean, Elvis could act.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think his finest performance is in King Creole. King Creole, brilliant. It's my favourite Elvis film because I think it's got a really gritty story, and his acting in that is superb.
They used to be on a Saturday morning, didn't they, in the 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Bowie was also in Labyrinth. And then apparently there's a new Tom Petty documentary coming out on Paramount. Tom Petty's Beach Party.
I think Slade in Flames getting some sort of reissue. The film is being tarted up, and what's that blue thing version of DVDs you get?
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
I think it's been released on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I had it for Christmas, King Creole, that's been remastered, and the sound is fantastic. You know, especially with the music, they've enhanced the sound so it plays like a surround. Fantastic. They do that to Slave and Flame. I'll be getting it. I mean, going back to that, I think the best acting performance in that is Don Powell.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when he's up in his shed with his birds. It's a lovely scene, and it's quite deep and meaningful. And he was absolutely. There's him and Jim. Is it him and Jim?
Yeah.
Up on brilliant.
But I think they realised, you know, the producers sort of realised quite early on that he was the one that could really act, and so you know they built it around him a little bit. You know, made sure that you know he had plenty of lines. But yeah, I mean Noddy just was playing Noddy, wasn't he?
Noddy was being Noddy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pulsar just said Tom Waits made a few acting appearances in 1980s. Yeah,
Yeah, he was
did.
in a Jim Jarmusch film, black and white film, A Coffee.
Yeah, and then there's
Barbara.
Phil Collins, of course.
Yeah.
Phil Collins as an actor?
Yeah.
In what film? In
He was
Hard as
part
Night.
of what they call
Hard
the
as Night.
Children's Film Foundation. He was in a lot of 60s films as a young lad, but you know he's a good actor. I mean, he played Buster brilliantly, I thought.
There you go. Slade in Flame on Blu-ray in May.
Ah.
Oh,
Time for the 50th anniversary.
and we'll be back in the cinema.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind going to see that.
Well,
I
we'll
know.
have a second night of it, Nick. We'll have a night out in Slade.
If they put it on one of those great big huge screens with all that stereophonic quadrasonic type sound and all that, I think it'd be brilliant.
Yeah, I think that's one for the diary.
There you go. It was 50 years ago today, the 13th of February.
Yeah.
Good God.
Slade arrived in a blaze of glory riding on top of a fire engine for the premiere of Slade in Flame at London's Metropole Theatre.
Yeah, I mean, it's got one of my favourite Slade songs, Far, Far Away.
So
Yeah.
there you go, 2nd of May.
Excellent.
Newly remastered, released in cinemas in the UK by BFI, followed by a BFI Blu-ray DVD release on the 19th. New
Right.
trailer, new poster, extra features, blah, 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 blah. There you go.
Fantastic. That's good news, that is.
Yeah, I have to look into that.
Definitely, mate. I'll keep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't got a Blu-ray player. I've already got the DVD anyway, so.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't mind seeing it at the cinema.
No, I think that'd be.
Vinyl Voyage, Bowie, and Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. Very good.
Very.
Very
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
I've seen it, Jack. Yeah. I saw it at the cinema when it came out, and it's another great performance from David Bowie.
Not her greatest
Yeah.
movie, but she was damn good.
Yeah.
She did portray her part very well. Let's see. Jumping on down. Documentary when released in the 80s, shown in cinemas for a week, then it went missing. There you go. It's coming back.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but Barbara Streisand.
Yes.
In
Tom
which,
Waits was,
which,
there you go. Tom Waits
which
was in
movie?
Shortcuts.
A lot of Funny Girl.
Okay.
I think Funny Girl was her first acting debut, and she really could. And A Star Is Born and Yentl. She must have had like 4 or 5 major screen releases. There was a period there where acting was her thing.
Okay.
But I mean, there's the old adage is that rock stars can't act, and now I'm being proved completely wrong by all these names being bandied about. That's right. Roger Daltrey was in McVickard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roger.
Funny
Yeah,
Girl.
Jack's right, isn't he? It wasn't bad in McVicker.
Here you go. I've got a
How
list of
about
Streisand
French singers and pop stars in films? So quite a few. I mean, obviously Gainsbourg was in films, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Jane Birkin was an actress before she was a singer. Brigitte Bardot. I mean, are there any others we should know about?
I think Brigitte Bardot was much more an actress as a singer at the beginning. I guess.
Yeah.
Eartha Kitt.
Mm-hmm.
Eartha Kitt. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, Sacha Distel was in a couple of movies as well.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Charo.
Eartha Kitt was in episodes of Batman, weren't she?
Yeah.
It was.
Yes.
And I remember it was pretty much the destiny of an actor in the UK. I think like he began his or her career as a singer for teenager, and when he got older, like 25, 28-ish, he started to make a career in the movies. It was like, this is what I read a long time ago. I'm not sure if it's true or if it was true in the 60s. Like you were old to be a singer for teenagers, so at a point you had to change your, trajectory or start something in the movies, something. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Right.
No, nobody's mentioned Breaking Glass.
Oh, Hazel O'Connor. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a fantastic film.
Yeah.
I've got the DVD. It's very, very hard to get hold of.
Yeah, sad film as well, isn't it?
Yeah, well, especially at the end. Yeah. I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen it, but it's well worth watching.
I had to go and look that up.
It's surprisingly good film. You can watch it online. You can find it online. But I mean, I've got the soundtrack album and a couple of singles as well.
Yeah.
That's what D-Days and Willie were singles, weren't they?
And of course, Toya. She was actress. She did that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There was Jubilee.
Yeah, wasn't she in a thing with Johnny Gielgud? Toya.
Yeah, something. Yeah, an old sort of classical actor. Yeah. Wasn't it a made-for-TV type film or a series? For the life of me, I can't remember what it was called. But, no, she's done it all. Quadrophenia, of course.
Yeah.
What was her role in Quadrophenia?
Sorry?
What was her role in Quadrophenia, Toya?
Character called Monkey.
Monkey, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, she's done a lot of acting, hasn't she? Yeah, because obviously it's Jubilee. And if anyone can tell me what Jubilee is all about, I'd like to know.
Yeah. I don't know myself.
Yeah, yeah, because Adam Ant sort of gets
Yeah.
an acting part in there, and it doesn't really go down very well, does it? I think.
No. No.
Yeah,
Oh.
Jack's right. Monkey fancied Jimmy, didn't she?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was Andre
it's that way
3000.
Sorry.
Andre 3000, who was in the role of Jimi Hendrix, that got panned, and I thought his acting role was actually quite good. You know what I'm talking about? Is it's the story of when Jimi Hendrix first arrived in London.
Yeah.
I think it's Something on My Side, or Time Is on My Side, or something like that. But it was actually, he did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, you said about actors that playing, roles as real stars,
And vice versa.
Yeah, there's been some real. I mean, I think Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison was brilliant.
He was.
That's a great movie. Absolutely. I mean, I think everyone who played the parts of the Doors were brilliant in that movie. It's one of my favourite movies. And I thought your man that played Freddie in Bohemian Rhapsody, fine performance, got Freddie off to a key. The story is a bit ooh. Now, my mate went to see the Bob Dylan movie last week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He said it's brilliant. And the best person is the girl that played Joan Baez.
Yeah, I could agree. I watched that movie as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he said it was a stunning performance by I didn't know who played Joan Baez, but he said it was brilliant. And I've watched the guy that played Bob Marley
Okay.
in One Love. That's pretty good as well. And I thought your man that played Elvis did a good job as well.
Have you seen the Ian Jury one with Andy Serkis?
No, I know. I mean, I know he's a good actor because I've seen him in quite a few. Because he did a lot of TV acting. Ian Jury didn't he? And he always played a dodgy sort of character, didn't he? Hard man. He was really good at it as well.
And of course, there was that 70s porn film that he was in with.
Yes, your trick question.
Yeah.
You're reliving that.
Yes, Kilburn in the High Road, and in a smutty movie.
Yeah. Of course I heard it.
Nick Turner tours illegally as Hawkwind, or toured, I should say.
Yeah, there's been some bad films. Now, there was a film made about Def Leppard.
Uh-huh.
And it was all American actors trying to do Yorkshire accents.
Well,
and it just didn't work. It was a terrible film. It was that bad. It was good. It's one of them.
yeah.
Tom DeLuise did not play Elvis, Dave.
Oh, that's classic.
Tom DeLuise. I haven't heard that name in so long.
Yeah, I agree.
I used to like
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun. And that laugh he had.
Oh, yeah. That's weird. There you go. Live Sex Pistols 78 box set. Will it sound good or will it be as crap?
Well, if it hasn't been released in so many decades, it probably won't sound good.
No. There's there's about 4 or 5 live albums, aren't there? And they're being released separately, and they're being released as a box.
Mm.
And I can't see the point.
Of course, it all depends on who's playing the bass on the records.
It wasn't Sid Vicious, was it?
If it's Glenn, it'll be pretty decent, but if it's said, nah, forget it.
Yeah.
Hang on. Jim's back. Tom played 1977 Elvis.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember
I've got to go.
Father Ted when they entered a song contest as the 3 ages of Elvis?
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
And the song for Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Lovely Horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yep.
Yes.
This week,
Yes.
the Gary Newman LP I ordered arrived, but I haven't had a chance to play it. But I was looking through other stuff. But the company sells. They're called Rare Vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
They advertise a lot on Facebook, and I was just typing in random names, and I typed in the specials. There's a live double album of theirs, which I've got. Mine's mint. I think I only paid about 25 quid maximum for it a few years ago. They're selling it now for £132. Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. You're not going to sell it, though, are you?
Oh, you must be kidding. No.
No.
No, but the trouble is, though, when I pop my clogs,
You what?
when I pop my clogs,
Whenever he departs this mortal sphere,
Translation, please.
when I
he kicks the
die,
bucket.
Or kick the bucket.
Yeah.
my kids ain't going to know how much these things are worth.
You're going to leave them instructions.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
you
have to.
to.
I'll leave them with my eldest lad because he's got more common sense than his younger brother and sister.
Do you have your collection entered in Discogs or something?
Yeah.
So problem solved.
Yeah, but Discogs is a funny thing at times, really. I think every man and his dog sort of goes on what Discogs says when it comes to valuing records. You know, it amazes me who on earth comes up with these prices. And it's the same with these record collecting magazines as well.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. I can see differences from the time when I was still living in France. So the values of the records in France or Germany, when I brought this record over here, I could sell it for much more money. And Discogs doesn't really take those facts into account. I think it's all about the average last sales, whatever. It's not always true. Yeah.
I could take my entire collection to a record dealer's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they'll have a look and say, well, how much do you want for it all then? And I could say, well, Discogs says it's worth £25,000. He ain't gonna fucking pay that.
No, because that's retail. That's end user purchasing, and he wants half of that so that he can double it and
Exactly.
sell it for that same price.
He probably wouldn't even pay half.
Yeah. But you just have to look at the list of copies of an album that are for sale on Discogs, and the prices are so different, aren't they?
Yes.
You get some of them, you think, oh, that's quite reasonable, and then you sort of get further and further down the list, and people are asking silly money for stuff, and as you say, who decides?
I can really think there is a difference. When I took my several trips to the UK, there were like stores. They had no Discogs, no internet at all, so they only sold like to a local community of people.
Yeah.
And those records were pretty much affordable. But when you have this guy in London with a website, he can sell, he can ship to Japan, America, whatever, then he knows really clearly what he can ask for.
Yeah.
But then we go there. I think there's a lot of fake sales on Discogs to artificially inflate prices.
Could be.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So
I think you get better, more honest type prices on eBay. But then again, I don't trust a lot of sellers on eBay. But I trust more. I trust more sellers on Discogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I brought a Thin Lizzy album on eBay, and it said rated as very good.
Yeah.
But the cover was, I had to glue it back together. It was a mess. So I sent him a thing. He said, "Well, the album plays." I says, "Yeah, the album plays all right, but very good doesn't just mean your album, mate. You can't sell, a battered old cover like that. Looks like you've ate your dinner on it."
Yeah. I know it's disappointing, isn't it? And Oxfam in Leeds, they sell quite a lot of records, and they seem to take absolutely no account of the condition of the records at all. You get some real tatty old stuff with torn covers and everything, and they're asking money for a sort of VG copy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Days are gone, haven't they, when you could regularly pick up a bargain at a charity shop.
Yeah.
But Robbie, you're in a position to travel and buy, right? I mean, you're not limited to just internet buying. I mean, your work enables you to do a bit of traveling and explore other areas to buy. So you probably run into different sellers who are not Discog savvy, or I mean, so the prices, you have a lot of leeway on the prices, as opposed to somebody who can't travel and is limited to online buying. It's a different type of predicament.
Exactly. Depending upon where I am, I have a different want list. So I know if next year I will be traveling to visit my family and friends in France and take a quick trip to Germany, because we are so close to Germany. I know maybe Krautrock will be on the top of the list. Here is a no-go. Or in Vermont, when I go to travel to the US, which is very close from here, then I have another want list. I know, certain stuffs I'm more keen to buy now and here. So yeah,
right.
Absolutely. It is an asset. It's a huge advantage, being able to travel, to know a little bit, and to have a network.
Yeah.
With the VC. I have a good friend in Australia, Fred, Big Star 1000. Right. And whenever I saw something, hey, this is something really available in Australia, I give him a call, and he can source it locally for me. And this is how a community is all about. Yeah,
absolutely. And some of the stuff that you show on your channel, I don't see it at all. Locally, a lot of the prog albums that you show.
Yeah.
Some fantastic stuff, particularly the the European prog.
Yeah, as I said, prog. I bought a lot of stuff from the UK. There is this store called Flashback Records. They have 3 stores in London, brick and mortar store, and they sell it online. Plus the stuffs I know from Germany, Krautrock stuff, and local prog as well, because here in Quebec, the scene was very booming. So I'm exploring, and you and I myself, we are reading a book right now about folk. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I was studying this another book, 400 pages about prog. So which was a very very useful guidance to discover other bands I could never have imagined. European, obscure. They only made 1 album back in the day. So never ending story.
Your videos, Ramon, I always have a notebook by me chair, because if I put something and I go hunting for it. I mean, luckily most of the stuff you find I've found on YouTube, so I can listen. So you know, and it's you go, wow, this is good, you know. So that's what I like watching you as well. You show stuff that, as Mike says, you just don't know about, and
Right.
Yeah.
and it's absolutely what the community's about. It's about sharing music and telling each other about music that we know that we're gonna like, you know, and it's just a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Most people have a notebook and pen beside them when I watch my videos, but it's, you know, compiling a complaint.
Yeah. I could believe that. Yeah.
Dear
I
sir,
don't know what I
Matt,
do to upset people. I really don't.
No.
There you go.
Simon's asking about Yard Act. Yeah, I love Yard Act. I've got all their stuff. I've got some pretty sort of rare stuff as well, particularly some of the singles.
Right. There's
But
going to be a tree.
But just because you don't see it here in Britain, does that make it rare?
That's a very good question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Australian sort of like punk and post-punk that Ben Rankin shows, and you just don't see it in the UK. But I'm sure it's not rare in Australia.
No.
the problem with the whole thing is nobody knows how many were pressed. Okay, this is like the big mystery, because you have all of these, people are showing these obscure prog records these days, or psychedelic records, like the Vinyl Piper, Dave the Pickup Artist, or You Romy, right? And people are like, wow, I've never seen that before. It's extremely rare. Well, in what context? Because we never know what the production run was on that record. If you put that into the equation, you could make more informed decisions about the rarity of a record, but we don't know. It was never disclosed, and I think that's really weird.
I try to provide with useful information in my humble opinion. I can say, hey, this is a record I could find here. It's an OG press. It's not like rare. You can find those stuff here, or it's a reissue. Because I don't want to brag, it's not about, hey, I found these like copies, I paid $200 for it. It's not the idea behind it. The idea is to share, it's to hunting in the wild, finding stuff, enjoying and sharing with people, not to brag. This is how I see things. Yeah.
Oh, leave the Sharples alone. She was an absolute icon.
Violet Castle.
Yeah.
I need a translation of that Andy Gladwin line.
Hang on.
A bulldog chewing a wasp.
Yeah. So you got that National Health album, didn't you, Romo?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What do you think of it?
It is really cool. Really cool. As I said, this is a copy, and you guys noticed. I think it has been it will be released on the RSD list.
It is going to be, yeah.
So this is like pretty much the following. There were people like playing on that one.
Oh yes,
North. Okay.
Yeah.
Lots of people, they were like in a hiatus, and 2 years later they made this one. So this is pretty much a Canterbury scene project. Lots of people like Pete Pyle, Dave Stewart, Alan Gowan. It was supposed to be like a 9-musician project, but things didn't happen as it turned out. So they ended up like being 4 people, and it's prog. It's more prog than purely Canterbury. So you have this saturated organ, but with nice melodies. And I think they wanted to blur the lines between the improvisations and the writing parts in my book. And it's a fantastic record, like very easy listening.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. it. But you look at the people involved in that album, and it's a who's who of Canterbury scene, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I never saw, as I said, this label before. This Affinity.
Nor me.
Yeah,
they recorded this album on the mobile studio of John Anderson, I think. And then finally could secure a deal with Affinity, which is a division of Charlie Music, never heard. So yeah, they really struggled to get things done. But no, definitely a good surprise. And thank you, Mike.
When was National Health released?
78.
And it's self-titled, and it's the only record that they did. It was the only.
No, they made a second one, which is more like Canterburyan with the pluralism of the writing. Don't remember the name. Maybe you, Mike.
It's Rotters Club.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, we have Moog, flutes, all the things will like this saturated organ. And this guy, Alan Gowen, was part of a band called Gilgamesh. Never heard of that, Gilgamesh.
Well, I didn't know that.
No, so another rabbit hole maybe to delve into.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's nice because it made me want to rediscover, certain stuff like this one. We always talk about this one from Robert Wyatt, but this one is not bad. You have this fragility in the voice.
Yeah,
really like. And this is the one I could really recommend because Canterbury seemed really afraid, and I was afraid as well. When you're listening to Genesis, yes, Gentle Giant, although Gentle Giant is a little bit different. We could be afraid of this jazz pop fusion, but this is, my humble book, is very, very accessible. Very balanced. Nothing is over complex. They're not trying to overperform.
You should pick up For Girls Who Grow Plump in the Night by Caravan. That's really one of my favorites by them.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you'd really like it.
Yeah. Yeah, that Caravan album is more prog than jazz, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Which I think, as you say, makes it maybe a lot more accessible.
But something for you, Nick. Something for you. You always talk about ska punk stuff, and I bought a copy of this one.
Yeah, that's
totally different.
Great album.
I would love to hear about your opinion, Nick. What do you think about?
Apparently, he's not on at the moment, Romy. I don't know. He's just disappeared.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the original. That's the original jacket.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a.
Yeah, with it's got the 12-inch with it, hasn't it?
Exactly, which is a killer. This Madame Medusa stuff, which is absolutely killer.
Yeah.
Almost heralding the raga stuff with this saxophone signature sound. It's truly, truly amazing. And yeah, we had the discussion because UB40, and I grew up in the 90s listening to this stuff on the mainstream radio. I Got You, Babe, Red Wine, and stuff.
Yeah.
And Fred, my friend, we talk daily, said, hey, the first album is really like you really have to consider this one. And as it happens, I could find an OG press. This is UK, I think a UK first press, I think, of this band. And I know they turn maybe mainstream at a later stage, but
no, it's a fantastic album. It's for me, it's head and shoulders above anything else that they did.
And we often mention, rediscovering treasure we do have in the collections. That made me want to rediscover the ska because we are talking about, the roots of the reggae. This is a comp I bought from maybe last year here in Toronto, whatever. This Federal Records. You had artists like Jackie Opel, just for instance, good old ska, and this comp. I bought this comp 20 years ago. This is a fantastic comp. And talking about the cover, I thought this was something like hip hop. I bought it like on the fly. I was like between two trains, and I bought this compilation in Switzerland. I was like 17 years old. I didn't have enough time, so I only saw Scratchy, and I see this DJ, and I thought, hey, this was something like maybe hip hop. Didn't even read ska dub, and it really blew my mind at the time. To discover, the whole world of the Scatolites, Dennis Al Capone, this late 60s ska dub, amazing. So
So
one chunk leads to another, as the
that was your gateway.
Well,
absolutely.
Nick sent me this recently. It's CD compilation, Blue Beat. This is Jamaican ska and
Wow.
R&B. It's really good. There's some really sort of early stuff on there, and it's a really good way of getting into the music, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Romy, have you heard much of the Enid?
No.
Well, I'm doing an album ranking of the Enid this week. So have a check of that, and I would recommend it. It's how can you put some Enid stuff? It's quite orchestral with prog. It's a fusion of classical music and prog music with a bit of jazz thrown in there. The Enid has got quite a there's Enid for our voice.
That's the Wasp Bulldog analogy right there, right?
Yeah. The Enid has got a bit of a Northampton connection.
Okay.
Yeah. So So I would recommend you if you like National Health. I think the Enid is another rabbit hole for you to go down. Recommend the Enid.
For me, one of my favorite prog band that has a more connection with the classical music is probably Renaissance. Say it with a French accent, Renaissance.
Yeah.
Their album Sherazade and Other Stories is to me.
If you like that's very. What do you rate, Mike? The Enid and that album of Renaissance, very similar sort of vibe, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. I've got a few sort of Enid albums, but I can't remember the last time I played them. Is one of the albums called Something Wicked This Way Comes?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I won't go too much because it'll spoil my thing.
Yeah.
Margaret Rutherford was hot.
He certainly was. Yeah.
And Andy reckons Iain was looking quite cute.
Andy, behave yourself.
and it's funny. It all started. We have this live stream on the French channel. Myself and Stanley, Sun Rock Confusion, and it all started because we go like talking about the perception we have about the label, and I was like starting with the Island label, and there were like several people in the chat or in the peanut gallery, and everyone has its own opinion. There was this guy like very into U2 stuff, and otherwise another guy could say, hey, this is to me it's reggae, it's Bob Marley. And I was like, Island to me, it's like early 70s. It's more folk prog, Cat Stevens stuff.
I'll show you something.
So, and there was this guy, he just showed, or I think it was Stanley who showed the first album of 19-inch Ales, also released on the Island label. So, one label, different.
Yeah, sure.
Perspective.
I picked this up at Record Fair, and it was only a tenner. And it's an Island comp, and just to give you an idea of the sort of people that recorded for Island, you got Cat Stevens on here, got Nick Drake,
John
Martin, Richard and Linda Thompson, and you've got Free, Traffic, and then for the sort of reggae, you've got Jimmy Cliff, the Heptones, Toots and the Maytals, all on one compilation album. Yeah, I think Island were a great label.
Yeah.
Grace Jones, she recorded on Island.
Yeah.
Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
So
there. Yeah, I mean, you can't get anything different from Richard Thompson and any reggae artist. Different spectrums. Richard Thompson, they're more folk, aren't they?
Isn't there a new documentary about the founder of Island Records that's come out or will come out? Some film about him being such a visionary. No?
Ooh.
I can't remember his name now.
Chris Blackwell.
Chris Blackwell.
Chris Blackwell, yeah. This is the comp released as a 3 CD box set, I think early 2000s, and it's it's a comp, the golden years, I would say, the Island. You had artists like, as I said, Fairport Convention, Bloodwood Speed, and so many other. I have on my Spotify, Quintessence, Traffic, and simply Bloodwind Pig. Who remembers
Yes.
Bloodwind Pig?
I
the
do.
pig?
I
Yeah.
do.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
We talked about Bloodwind Pig a few months
Yeah.
ago. You were showing them, weren't you, Michael?
Yes.
And then I picked up an album.
There was an island story album that came out in the 80s, I think it was. I've got a copy of it upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't remember it. I can't for the life of me remember if it's a double album or a single one.
yeah.
I think there's a documentary about Chris Blackwell.
Yeah, you're probably right, Michael. Yeah.
I mean, he was the main man responsible for getting a load of the old ska stuff over from Jamaica over here into Britain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, he was. Well, he's known as what's the granddaddy in here for bringing over and introducing UK to ska and
Yeah.
reggae.
I think Island is one of the important labels. That he really did sort of spread the word with sort of music that wasn't really sort of played a lot in the UK or in Europe.
I was reading a bit because I did, as you know, I did Aswad this week, and Tony Robinson from Aswad said that if it weren't for Chris Blackwell, he says, not introducing us to that music, Aswad wouldn't have existed. Because he says when we was growing up, none of that was over. He says, and then all of a sudden we got, the first people we really heard was Bob Marley. He says, but then they introduced on Island Records all these great tunes. He said, without that, Aswad would have never ever existed, and that's something, isn't it? In a British reggae band who had roots, because they're all their mums and dads were immigrants from Jamaica, but they didn't have any music of their homeland. So, he must have influenced so many.
Yeah.
And I'm sure UB40 have always spoken well, haven't they? Of
Steel Pulse.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Handsworth Revolution, a great album.
I think there's a few Bob Marley records released on Ireland as well.
I think it was. You go back to UB40. I've seen UB40 live. Fantastic.
When? Do you remember?
I saw them in '86.
Oh, great year. I was born in '86.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I only saw them do a few songs, but because it was a charity gig. But I mean, I've said this at the end, it'll be bored, but I'll say this for you. I saw UB40, The Move, ELO, Roy Wood, the Applejacks, Moody Blues all on one day.
Wow.
Yeah, UB40.
Not a bad lineup, is it?
No, UB40. They only did a half-hour set, but it was basically a little greatest hits set. So you got, 1 in 10 and all that sort of thing. Brilliant. And they come on round about tea time where everyone was starting to flake, but they were so good and everybody rocked to them. Leeds win, drop goal, and golden score.
No, that was Lee.
No.
Leeds aren't playing tonight.
Lee.
No.
Yeah.
Microsoft has changed Lee to Leeds.
Yeah, it's Lee. So Lee beat Wigan them. Excellent. Yeah.
That's a good start to the season.
Yeah.
Good start to the season. Yeah, going back. So to see all these great artists, and to me, I went to Moody Blues were headlining, but my second favourite weren't ELO; they were UB40. I'd never seen a reggae sort of band, but they were superb. And they had, they did I Got You, Babe, and Ruby Turner came on and sang it. Because they couldn't get Chrissy Hynde. So, not a bad day, was it?
No.
And then
Oh.
George Harrison come on at the end and did Bye Bye Johnny. So good, but you know, so Johnny be good. So yeah, that was my first sort of proper reggae, and I've seen there's been to some clubs in Northampton, seen a bit of reggae. You know, they've always enjoyed it. Yeah. Well, we've been going 2 hours and 5 minutes. Where's the time gone tonight?
Time flies. Yeah.
So yeah, it's time to. So if you have got something at hand to show, I'm sure you all have.
I'll show an important jacket image. Here we go. This didn't get it. It didn't show it, but
Oh. Hey, that's a great album, Tommy.
Yeah, I just received it. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
3, 2, 1. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I
And
hope
we'll
we
see
don't-
you all.
I hope we don't get a strike for that, Michael.
I don't think so. The hair covers it.
Yeah, well, it's lovely to see you at Ramold. It's always a pleasure having you.
Yeah, I could work from home today, so I'm more time. It's always a pleasure.
That's brilliant. And I'll have to come on and say hello on yours at some one
Yeah,
day.
be my guest. Absolutely.
Yes, I'd love to come up and chat with you. And so, yeah, thank you very much for everybody. It's lovely to see Dave back. We missed him last week, didn't we, chaps?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you missed me because
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I'm glad you made it through the whole stream without your head.
I'm about to go and take a couple of painkillers because it's starting to hurt.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so we'll see you all next week. Have a good week.
Yeah.
Take care,
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Ta-da.
See you guys. Bye-bye.